Yo, what is going on, everybody? We are doing a replay analysis. It's going to be champ 3 today. And I don't know what rank everyone is in here. I know they're champ 3. I couldn't tell you any more than that. This is actually a replay I got from boardchasing.com. And the reason is because I didn't find anyone who we hadn't done a replay on before that was champ 3 in 2v2. So if you're out there and you're grand champion 1v1 or 2v2, please let me know as soon as you can and send me a replay. But we're going to get into this. Now, first thing I want to say is there's a lot of goals. I picked the ball chasing replay with the most goals. I don't know how these goals occur, but most of these I would imagine are going to be from defensive errors. Okay, and most defensive errors mean challenging the ball as the second man instead of waiting for the shot and being in a sound position. We're going to see, I don't know, I haven't seen this replay. We're going to see what happens. Rather than look at an individual player with this, we're going to look at how the goals occur and sort of look at it as an overview. We're not going to talk too much about maybe the rotation of individual players unless it is what leads to a goal. And this is going to be the first goal right here, and that's perfect. We can see straight away the defensive mistake. Did you spot it? I hope you did, because we've been doing this stuff for many weeks now. Well, what should this player, Ronnie, have done? As they just literally cut straight to the front post and come off the ball. Now, why are they all going to the corner? Look, every single player is in the corner, including Ronnie. So he should have been here. He should have been here. And he would have been able to get the save. Or he should have been here, and he would have been able to get the save. He would have been able to react. Because he would have been able to come forward to the ball. He would have been able to see the play develop. Do you imagine if he didn't go right now? Say he came in here. There you go, there's your save. But instead, they're just following the play. This is what happens in these ranks. People follow the play without any control. First goal was exactly what I predicted here. You can see it again. No rotation needed. We're going to go straight to the ball. And what are we defending? What's our purpose here? There is no purpose. And that's the first goal. Let's skip to the kickoff. And we're not really going to cover the kickoffs too much. I mean, we've covered kickoffs in all the episodes. And if this was an individual's replay, you know, say someone like Mizzy did actually send it in, we would analyze it greater. But we're really more interested in the goals here and why the goals occur, or if we see anything very outrageous. Obviously, throughout this, you're going to be spotting very many mistakes defensively. And here's an example. You know, a lot of people are scared. They go, oh my God, champ 3 must be really good. But I always say, guys, don't be scared of the ranks, because look, there's a miss. And I'm not having a go at these players. And there's a miss. So don't be scared and panicked of ranks and put them on a pedestal. It doesn't really matter what rank you are. Even at the high levels, people miss the ball. So don't think people don't miss the ball. People do miss the ball. Even at the top level, even pros miss the ball. So don't worry about that if you miss the ball. Now, what can we see here? Before there's even a goal, what do we see? Well, look at this from El Shaarawy. Look at this from Al. They come here, they turn right here, and what are they defending? Well, let's have a look at it from this perspective. They are defending the sidewall, and to make sure they're defending the sidewall, they turn back into the sidewall. Now they're in a face-out position. There's nowhere to go. If they get beat, they're out the game. They get beat, now they got to turn, and they're essentially out the game there. And now look, they use all their boosts to go to the other side. Does this remind you of gameplay that you see? If it is, you need to cut it out because it happens all the time. So look, they've come back. The teammate gets demoed. Why would I start cutting to the corner? The boost just spawned, but they didn't know it was there. Why would I start cutting to the corner like that? They've turned out they're fine to sit in this position. They should have sat in this position right now. And then maybe once that hit come in, they could have turned here like so. And they'd be ready to go. And there's the save like that for safety. But instead, just turning on the ball over and over is what you're going to see in this rank. So Ronnie gets rid of this. And we're not going to call out every mistake of every player, because I know a lot of people did like the last one because it was 20 minutes. And so that's what we're going to try and do. So here's another great example of something going wrong. Right, so Miz tries to stand the ball. Bit of a hit away there. So it comes down now to Jake Roy. Jake Roy's going to make this save. They're in a good spot where they are now. Now they're not. So here, if they start right there, they're in a good spot. Because as the shot comes over the top, Mizzy is basically forcing them to make a play. And that's a really big advantage if you're a defender. Your teammate forces them to make a play. It makes your job a lot easier. So now all you got to do is off this hit, you got to try and go up and read where it's bouncing to. It can take a little bit of practice. There's training packs out there for this. Instead, what happens here is Jake Roy begins to push forward. And this is exactly the situation we've seen many times in this series, is if you're pushing forward and you're not going to the ball. And this is why I hate when people drive under the ball, and it's something you don't want to be doing. You don't want to be driving to where the ball's going underneath it if you can see that the player's going up, or if you're in a dangerous defensive zone. Only do this if you know you've got space. So the more we come from our line, the more displacement we get, which means if there's a shot on target, the more we're screwed, essentially. And that's exactly what happens here, because as Jake Roy comes forward, there's a touch over the top from Ronnie, which just frees them on spot. Now they're backpedaling, which gives the open goal to the finish there for Al Shawry. So they did need to stay disciplined or go straight up. Ideally going straight up, but a lot of this comes from lack of discipline. So good control into the corner there, but then this. So this is all good, this good control to the corner. Then you don't have to hit it again. Let it roll up. But then we see this so many times, don't we? These hits into the air. These hits away from ourselves towards the opponent. Look how nice that looks now. Now I'm safe to challenge, I feel, if I was closer. And that forces panic. It creates a reaction from Jake to just hit the ball away. Very, very common reaction. And now look, when you hit the ball away, they're trying to keep momentum. They got no boost, so they're just trying to stay behind the hitbox of the ball. And essentially, they're putting themselves out the game. And this is going to be the next goal that comes in. Let's see why. There you go. So what could have happened here? And I do apologize. Seems like I am getting some FPS stutters here. So, Mizzy, first of all, what's the problem with Mizzy's defensive positioning? This is fine. Now, all they've got to do is go up, facing sideways, come up and create a block. Sideways. Because their hitbox will be bigger. As soon as they turn inwards, they now, and we've seen this before, they make their hitbox smaller. And also, so now the hitbox is this big. If they would have stayed sideways, it would have been this big. The ball is moving in this direction, okay? So the only way we want to be challenging this ball is with the ball's momentum. That's how you often want to challenge a ball. So we want to be challenging it in this direction. If we come across it, or turn like this, we are now again limiting our chance of success because we now have less frames to hit the ball. If we go with it, we have more frames to hit the ball, more seconds of contact available. So the turn in field was what did it for Mizzy there. If they would have stayed sideways, they would have been okay. So that's the first player to miss the ball. What about, well, Jake Roy? Well, Jake Roy's gone straight back down the middle, and normally you'd be okay with that, but you'd normally not want to be in this situation. Once you see the shot come on, that's when you want to turn out. We covered that in the last video. So anytime, which was Champ 2, 2v2, once you're here and you're coming back, if you rotate down the middle, once you see that there's a direct threat, that's when you actually want to quickly turn out to try and give yourself an angle. Okay, you've definitely got the time here. And so, with Mizzy missing and Jake not creating an angle, they themselves lower their potential hitbox on the ball. And if we slow this down to 5%, you'll see that the hitbox is literally tiny. Now, if they would have come back and come sideways, they would have been able to come across and hit the ball side on with a bigger hitbox, and they also would have been able to get momentum. A backflip doesn't carry a whole lot of momentum, and essentially it bounces it off, and there is the dunk in real time. All right, so again, we're looking at rotation again. It's all rotation or bad defending. So off the kickoff. Okay, not a bad hit. And this is where the problems might look. There it is. Yep, that's where the problems look. You see it all the time. You've made your play on the ball here. Okay, Jake. You've made your play. You've grabbed the boost. Now, if you're going to do anything here, you've got to get higher on the ball's hitbox. So you need to come in line with the ball here. So if I zoom to here, what you need to realize is when you're in this position, your teammate should be in this position, right? Now, anyone will tell you, if you're in a face-up position and the ball's coming across here, it's much easier to defend here, isn't it? Because you don't know if they're going to play it across to a pass here, if they're going to try and dunk it straight away. It's hard to get up and always make that save. You don't know what's going on, and you often rely on your teammate to make the save, and that's correct. If you're here on the ground, it's really easy to push out, and you're pretty much safe most of the time. You can block it across. Now, here's where the dilemma happens. As Jake goes up, they need to go up here and get above or in line with the ball, and the reason for this is prevention. So as L is putting the ball across, what we want to do is we just do the little arrow again in this color. We want to block this high path. And the reason is because we want to protect our teammates. So if we're here, the ball's not going to get past us. And there's many ways to deal with that. Driving in line to the ball as it comes across and literally just doing a single jump will block it. Or as you get more confidence, you can turn towards your own net this way and actually do a backflip. And that will also save it. But mainly we're going to be here as a preventer. And if we are here and the ball goes a little bit lower, we can then drive forward and maybe look to catch the ball and bring it down back to the outside. Or we can just come down and act as a block. So this is a really important point. So if the ball continues at this height and slowly starts to dip, we don't always have to touch it. But what we do want to do is we want to basically kind of like shadow it almost downwards. The reason for this is we want to prevent another upwards play. So if we're here and the ball's here, it's going to be very hard for the opponent to smack it upwards again because it's going to bounce off us. And so by staying here, we're basically preventing them being able to clear it back upwards and over the top. So it means that the ball's only going to go one way, and that is downwards towards our teammate at the front net. So this was the first mistake from Jake. They are below the ball, and we need to be in line or above it in the corner to be specific, especially for twos. In this situation, it'll make our life a whole lot easier. Let's go to 50%. So as you see, they try and get in line with it. It's a little bit too late here. You don't always need the first instance to be a touch. Sometimes it's better to shadow. The reason for that is when we want to get a connection in the corner, and this is going to become a little bit of a corner tutorial, I suppose, is we want the connection to be that puts the ball backwards or stops it dead and puts it here. We don't want to be tapping it off here. So an early connection can screw us. That's why we want to give ourselves a little bit of distance by going up and sort of towards our net. Once Jake hits that first hit, because they're too close to the play and they've not given themselves space, they could have made that happen, by the way, if they did a real quick half flip, but you'd have to have real quick reaction times. The ball's going to bounce. This player is always going to go for this. Now, Miz is actually still in a good position here, believe it or not. But the problem is, it's the first play. So once you've played it outwards from your teammate, you're going to have a lot of problems, and then the 50 goes in. Now, believe it or not, like I said, people will be like, well, was Miz in a good position? We're going to watch it slow motion here now. Imagine right now if Jake would have left this ball but come up here and looked at it like this, and now come like this and just stopped right here. Now Miz would have been able to come out, or if they stay here and El Shori hits the ball, all they've got to do is as El Shori comes in is literally single jump off the wall, because the ball wouldn't have bounced away. It would have still been here, so they would have been able to block it. Alright, if you look at this from Miz's perspective in real time, you'll actually see how difficult this was. They made a good choice here. They go back to net, and that touch there is the killer. That little touch is all it takes. They've not got much time to react. They weren't in a bad spot there, though, in all honesty. It more came from prevention is better than making saves, if you know what I'm saying. So good goal there, nonetheless, for the opponents. A very difficult to read 50-50. So let's have a look at this goal here. And hopefully that makes sense. I've been asked to make a video on corners, and I will be making one soon, I feel. Great shot. So this is a really good shot. Mizzy plays it to the side. Jake comes across here. Lovely turn. Don't need to air roll for that one, as they show. If they air rolled to the right here, so they have to actually air roll their car this way, and then they did a diagonal flip this way, they would have really cracked that, and they would have cracked it into this area quite hard. But they don't need to do that because El Shori is very far, and we're going to review what they did, but a great finish nonetheless. So let's look at why this goal happened, and it starts with El Shori by the looks of it here. So we're going to really back it up. Here's the kickoff, and they go for the corner boost instead of doing what? Rotating in back post. So now we're here, and we're basically a dead player. We're a dead player because we're not offering anything to the team. We're just grabbing boost. That doesn't really offer us anything defensively. Now we land, and now what do we do? What does this look familiar? Does this look identical to the first play? Does it look identical? The fact that they've done this before? So already we've spotted a trend here from El Shori. As they come down, they don't need to wave dash here. They don't need to move forward here. They need to sit in the net. That's all they got to do. They just got to come back, sit in the net here. and wait. And just wait. There's a clearer way. Maybe now they go off this read here and make a challenge. And if they read it well, they would have hit that really hard downwards across here to hit Ronnie as he gets the pad for the open net. But instead, look at the movement we're seeing for no reason. And it all starts off the back of the kickoff. We grab the boost instead of going back post, helping our teammate. Forces them into a shadow position. They give the possession away. We've forced up too much with them. And now we're following the ball. And now we're taking a wide line back. It doesn't look wrong to a lot of people. They'll say, well, that's right? They're pressuring the ball and then they're getting back, right? No, that's not right, because it all comes from distance management. A lot of people like to move a lot. And this is part of it. A lot of movement here unnecessarily. And again, always going to the corner. They could have made the save there if they would have kept momentum. But let's look at it from Ronnie's perspective. Off the back of the kickoff. And let's just see how he deals with this problem. Grabs the boost in the corner. I don't like that. And this is why. So already he's going to be on the back foot now. Because he took a gamble on a 50-50. He said 50% I believe it's going to go this way. It didn't. So now he knows as this man, he doesn't know. He feels he needs to pressure the ball, because that's what people tell you. You got to pressure the ball. You need to know. You don't need to change. You need to be smart. So he dives to this corner. It's almost like he wanted the other boost or to put pressure on the ball. Now, two mistakes have happened simultaneously. Ronnie gambled and now he's coming back, but he's not coming back from ball side. He's literally just coming across as El Shorey does a ball side rotation. Two defensive mistakes. Once you make defensive mistakes, one, it's hard to recover from anyway, but when you get two, it now becomes a game of speed, and this is where overwhelming comes in. Now, Ronnie is forced into this position. They didn't need to. They could have, after grabbing that boost, believe it or not, just come and sat here. And once this shot would have came in, they would have gone up and took it away. And we can actually look at this right now. So if Ronnie would have just came back here and gone, okay, there's no point diving side on, because even if I get a 50 on that, I'm going to lose it. So I'll just come and sit here. And there we go. And now I can hit, because I can see here, I can hit it over here, come land, and maybe now hook shot or whatever. But because they're forcing themselves out, now Ronnie's got to go across. Let's go back to Ronnie a second. Oh, that's a good landing from Ronnie, but now it's just forcing this giveaway game. And then that's the goal. Okay, so again, it comes from defense. This looks like it could be a kickoff goal. Always interesting then to see what happens here. El Shorey pushing up. Heavy bounce. They've grabbed the boost. What are they defending right now? They're not defending their net, that's for sure. Because look, they've stopped way too far forward in front of their net. You see the distance they've given themselves. Look at all this space that they're missing out on. All they need to do is come back here a little bit and forward here a little bit. Now they look at the ball. They got more reaction times. As the shot comes on, double jump, lean back, a little bit of boost. There's a save. There's a save. And if it went to the other side, there's a save also. If that went to the other side, no way saving. If you can't save the front post, you sure as hell can't save the far post. Okay, so that's that goal. Again, defensive positioning. And you'll notice offensively, all the teams look good. They've got aerials down pat. They can direct their aerials. They're pretty good as far as that. Looking for the demo. Here comes the rotation. Let's see what happens from Jake Roy. Does that look familiar? Turning right into the ball, putting their teammate under a lot of pressure. Great clear by Miz, though, to get it away. But these plays aren't very high percentage, especially in Champ 3. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble. These aren't high percentage plays in Champ 3. Good stuff from Miz, but if you look at it really, right, El Shorey, if they would have noticed this play coming from Jake, they could have, and if they weren't following their teammate, in fact, let's just quickly go look over them, because this is really important, right? See how they're following their teammate? If they didn't follow their teammate, and instead realize that their teammate's actually under no pressure, I can come here, they might have been able to see them and gone for a lateral pass right here instead. They went for a lateral pass, that would have been a goal, you see. But not many people pass the ball either. I suppose it's on comms. Great patience though from Mizzy. I gotta say, I'm actually quite impressed with Mizzy's defensive positioning. They've done well throughout this. And a good pass to their teammate. You can just see, it's just not very high percentage when you do those passes. And it forces this play here. Right, what's the mistake here? Last man? Why do we do this if we're the last man? People tell you. Keep the pressure, keep the pressure, keep the pressure. Their teammate just went up and dove in for a redirect. Now they got no boost. We're going to hit off the backboard. Now we're stuck on the back. Now we've got to come back. It's a good rotation, but they're just trying so much. Now look at Jake Roy again. Jake Roy, none of these players are in the team. I said Jake Roy's making a lot of defensive mistakes here. Comes back and just doesn't have a clue what's going on. And by the time he looks in, he's already made a decision before he actually looks at the ball. And now he's going to grab this boost. Actually going to miss the boost. Go back for the boost because boost is a priority. And look at this again. We have a repeat of the opposite side from earlier. Jake Roy's in the corner, not being particularly effective. Mizzy is in the net. Good challenge from Mizzy, going up, forcing. You have to go up there. If there is direct danger, you have to go up. There is absolutely direct danger here. Good timing on Mizzy to go up and forcing that off the goal line. So now we look at this. Well, this is down to Jake Roy. Okay. And, well, it's down to Mizzy hitting the ball in the corner. But it's down to this defensive rotation right here. What do we need to do, guys? What do we need to do? What do we need to do? Ignore the corner boost for a start, because what if that's a redirect from El-Shorry? Why aren't we here? Why aren't we rotating like this, grabbing this pad, grab this pad? I'm still looking at the play, by the way. And my teammate comes in front of me. That's fine. I don't mind them there. I'm here. There's the miss. Now I go, and there's the save. Okay? I don't need boost to do that. I can get 4 or 5 pads on the way back, and I'm fine. That's the other goal. Again, it comes from following the ball back. The ball side rotation. And people say to me, yeah, you can rotate ball sides. I know you can rotate ball sides safely, but it just so happens that in every situation we've looked at so far today, every single goal has come from a ball side rotation, from the defensive breakdown. Maybe we should start doing more back post rotations. Or maybe it's just a thought. I've been saying it for the last 5 years. Maybe that is something that we should be doing. Until we get good enough to understand the way to play and have the mechanics to actually control the ball on the way back, get the demos, hit the ball away. Like, if you're rotating ball side, you need to create a conflict on the ball that's going to help your teammate out. You need to sort of stick on it, be annoying. You know, basically ball chase. It's hard to be good at that. This isn't ball chasing. This isn't actually helping your teammate out on the ball side rotation. This is just getting in the way and trying to get boost, but still be near the ball. This is like an obsession with being close to the ball. There's a very big difference. Now, high-level players need to rotate ball side. I'm just going to do another point here. But because they understand how to block across, how to do hitboxes, how to stick to the ball, how to pass, how to not get obsessed with the big boost, makes a very big difference. That's a nice shot there, though, from Jake after all that. Gets up in the air. Right. Nearly gets a save, does El-Shorry. But let's break this down. So El-Shorry, again, I don't believe what I'm seeing. It's another gamble to the one side. This is almost picture. Look, it's identical. Everyone's wired the same. So El-Shorry gambles on the right side on the defensive to grab the boost. Then forces themselves over to this side. Okay. Ronnie does it's exactly the same as what the opposite team did last time. Ronnie, instead of rotating back post, rotates on the ball side. Doesn't touch the ball or do anything useful. And El-Shorry, because they pushed too far forward here, after they gambled, see, they're too far forward. They realize this. They now go up here, but this is a laboured effort. You know what I mean? They're driving up here laboured. Why not, in this position, grab this boost here? Okay, grab the boost. Let's play in real time. I'm going to come here. I'm just going to sit this right here for a second. Okay, now I'll go up. Now I'll go up and challenge. Have they done a double touch so far? Have they earned my respect? No. If they even went for a double touch, I could still go up from the ground and challenge. You don't have to come from the back. The backboard is a really good position, don't get me wrong. We can just sit here. And what we could have done is we could have gone up for that. Or if we went into this position here and we're sitting, and if Ronnie actually came back the right side and Ronnie was now behind me, I can already come into net because Ronnie should be behind me right now. He had plenty of pads to grab. And now I can just attack it head on. I can attack it face on with outward momentum to get rid of the threat. And no matter what happens, Ronnie would have been coming in this position, so they could have reacted to the 50. You see what I'm saying? So that's another goal due to very, very, very similar things. I'm actually really glad we picked this random replay because we're just seeing the same things over and over. And like I say, we're going to have some random bit of play. We'll actually watch this little bit of play. Nice little double touch. I mean, this is what I'm saying. They've got these skills down. And Mizzy, I've got to say, Mizzy has looked like one of the top tier players in this lobby, to be honest. They have looked a little bit more like they understand what they're doing. As you can see, they go up on the back, and that's the exactly right thing, and they play it to the corner. So good stuff there. But this is unnecessary. They're just wasting boost. You know, they didn't need to do a lot of those spins, but great clear again. If that would have been on target, would have been an open goal. Shame Jake didn't finish this, because this was actually an open goal. And he could have finished that. He could have finished it. It was a tough one to catch up right. So why was this an open goal? Well, let's look at Al Shawry, shall we? And guess what I'm going to be saying, guys? If you haven't guessed by now, I'm going to say ball side right. Well, first of all, why would you go up for that if the opponent's already there? You don't need to go for that. Now let's look. Now they got two options. Well, they got more than two, but they got the most obvious option, which is just literally jump down, wave dash, go down the middle, look to see what happens. If the threat comes on, fade out a little bit, take a wider line so you've got more forward momentum through the ball, or just go down this side. Let's see what they decide to do, and look how this could have changed even more the outcome of the game. They're going to follow the ball. And now look, they're just going to follow the ball. The net's wide open because they followed the ball and went wide. It's the craziest thing. Because if you're going where the ball's going and your teammate doesn't win, you've got your back up against the wall. There's no chance for you to turn and face the play in a safe manner with the longest part of the hitbox. So there was a miss there. And that should have been a goal. Here we go. What do you see here? Ronnie makes the hit. Goes straight to the boost. Could have instead turned infield. But we'll let it slide for now. I see that this turn in here. This is the new sort of era of the game, and it's just getting very... People are playing too responsive. They're not sort of planning things. See, trying to turn up the wall, expecting the shot. Now look, they're both in the same corner. Missy doesn't get the finish, although it was close on both. And I'm curious to see how this next goal comes. And you can almost see now by watching these replays. And this is, again, I'm not dogging on these players. These players are actually really good. But I'm just giving an example of things that people are going to be out there disagreeing with me. And that's fine. Everyone's got different opinions. But I just feel this game is very chaotic. There's not a lot of positive things going on. It's just hitting the ball, trying to block. It's basically people trying to play as fast as they can and not actually doing anything. And this has been my argument for everyone who keeps telling people to play faster, play faster, play faster. And in the end, all you get is this mess. So actually look at this then. So here's the goal after all that. Yeah, it really was. So let's look at why this happened. Look at Jake's positioning again on the rotation back to net. They've done this before. Instead of going down here and round to the back post, this is the second time they've done this. They're coming directly to the net. Their teammates in a good position. Missy's actually again in a position where they can actually get the block here. But let's just take it down to about 50%. So there's Mizzy in a good position here. But the problem is, what I imagine is there's a gap here. As we slow it down a little bit more actually, there will be a gap because of the way they've turned their car bladed. But still, that shouldn't really be too much of a danger. They've managed to get the play. The big problem is this guy here, this Jake Roy. Why are you attacking this? And that's actually what scored the goal as he pats it down with forward momentum into his own net. This goal is his fault. I hate to say it. Look at it. What do you think could have been done differently? Well, I'll tell you what could have been done differently. Imagine right now, if he comes back, I don't want to, and I flip here and I grab this, Teammates takes to 50. They probably wouldn't lose it like that anyway, but I'm here, and there's the clear. And now I've got an opening. Boom, bounce dribble power shot. Look, the net's wide open. Why is the net wide open? Because this is why counters are so good, because it forces the overcommits. But unfortunately, because of bad rotation patterns, literally, this is the exact, what Jake does here is the exact same as if you just rotate ball side if it goes down the wall, because they're literally rotating right behind the ball. You see what I mean? Now I can see what they're trying to do. Now I'm not completely oblivious to what they're trying to do. I understand it. They're trying to clear it to here, but you've already got a teammate here. Support your teammate. Back them up. You've already done this before and it didn't end well. Why would we do it twice? Your 50s are really weak when you do this. All right, this looks like it's going to be a kickoff goal. There it is. Well, we've seen this in every single one, haven't we? There's 120 on the clock. Ball comes across here. Don't challenge this because you're low on boost and you're basically in a position here where if you get dunked, you're going against someone with 100 boost and you're out to play. I don't think there was a wave dash there. I don't think it really mattered. Instead, well, guys, second man, our goal is, yeah, okay, I get it. I get it why people would come in here and challenge this. But it's a reach. If it was stopping there, you could probably come across. Because it's really stretching right there. Once you realise, if we pull it back a bit, and we come in, and we'll drop it down to 50% because I can't move as fast in the camera. Once we're here, where are we? And we realise we're the furthest player from the ball out of these two. Because remember, right? It's basic momentum here. The ball's travelling in this direction. El Shwari is travelling in this direction. And Miz is also travelling in this direction. Look who's got the longest path to the ball. Is a longer path than... Oh, they're actually in line. So, who's going to actually get control of the ball first? It's going to be El Shwari. And they're going to end up with a good possession. So, in this situation, Miz needs to realise, once you're about here and you realise you're not going to win this battle, you can circle out here. You can just circle out, grab this, and just wait a second. Your teammate should come back, and maybe they'll go straight away as the front-facing man. Maybe they'll put some pressure on. Maybe they'll come in and do a big fake. And as they fake, maybe you then come in. And maybe you then challenge the ball because it's been given away by the opponent. Or maybe you do another fake. And then maybe your teammate who came back here then goes in and does a... You see the simple rotation pattern. Simple rotation pattern. That allows many options. Now, granted, it's hard to do in solo. And if you are trying to figure out how to rank up in solo, you don't have any mechanics and it's in 2v2, check out the series I've done here, which is the 2v2 road to GC with no mechanics. I try and explain everything as best as I can there, but basically a lot of it comes to just being patient and waiting. And even there, you see their touch was actually directly into the wall. Balls bounce, cars don't. So the ball bounces away as the car is behind it. And that is going to be a shot. Great shot from El Shwari. But this could have gone either way with the way these guys are playing. And that's the problem with today's game. The games can go either way. It's hard to consistently win with this style because you're relying on 50-50 luck. You're relying on, and obviously there is a skill to 50, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is you never know how a 50 is going to go out until it happens. You know, you never know which way a person's going to dodge. You never know how close it. It's always tough to judge. The faster you play, the less you actually know because there's so much going on. Whereas if you just take a second and realize the ball's trajectory and the momentum, then you can come in and make the plays and so on and so forth. So hopefully that's helped. A little bit different. I do want to just say a big thank you, and I know I bagged on a little bit against him, but a big thank you to Jake Roy, 1997, Mizzy, El Shwari, I hope I've said that right throughout it, and Ronnie Nicolascio, whose names I probably botched throughout this, but I do really appreciate you guys uploading a replay on boardchasing.com. I know you didn't really give me explicit permission to use it, but it is public domain, and it was a lot of goals, and it was entertaining, and hopefully this has helped people. So just, you know, consider it that this has actually potentially helped people understand a few things on rotation, which is always good, including hopefully yourselves. So just want to say, we'll watch the last little bit here. I do want to just say to everyone, thank you for supporting these episodes, these series. We're getting closer to the actual edited episode of how to get the Grand Champ, which is real soon. And I will be putting more variety into this channel, more variety with the Rocket League, actually, more fun content and stuff like that. And I will be using this as my main channel to put Twitch highlights and stuff on as well in the future. So adding in new games, adding in Horror Nights. A couple of people have been asking me for that because that is actually how I started. I started with horror games and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully people enjoy that. I will always be doing the Rocket League content, so don't worry about that, as I absolutely love this game. But I just want to add in other things and spread some joy into the world of positivity. So thanks for watching. Have a nice life. Look after yourself and peace out. Peace.